The former Peter Wenink CEO of Advanced Semiconductor Materials Lithography, a key supplier of semiconductor manufacturing equipment, has characterized the ongoing US-China chip wars as primarily ideological in nature, and is warning it will likely take decades for the dispute to play out. He said the clashes between the US and Beijing over computer chips are mainly ideological and not based on substance and practice. Wenink indicated he has spent a significant amount of time lobbying to prevent export restrictions from becoming too strict, and tried to strike a balance. Wenink is fearful the dispute between the US and China might last for decades, before things calm down again. This won't happen overnight, it will take some time. It wouldn't be the first time that US trade restrictions on technology have had questionable motives. Back in the 1980s, the enemy was Japan, when its local drum manufacturers started to overtake those of the US, which filed anti-dumping lawsuits in response. The US-Japan semiconductor trade conflict. Since 2018, ASML has faced restrictions on the sale of its photolithography equipment used in the manufacture of semiconductors. These are imposed by the Dutch government, but largely at the behest of the US, which cites security concerns that advanced technology might be used by China's military, as the reason. Initially, the company was blocked from supplying extreme ultraviolet (EUV) gear, used for making the most advanced chips, but this was later extended to cover some of its older deep ultraviolet tech products, and Washington has this year insisted that ASML refrain from honoring maintenance contracts with Chinese chip-making companies, under which it services the kit. Despite the restrictions, ASML grew 30% during 2023, with net sales of €27.6 billion, $30 billion. This perspective sheds light on the deeper motivations behind the technological and economic confrontations between these two global superpowers, USA-United States and China-China. The US-China chip wars are rooted in the broader context of a strategic competition between the two countries, involving national security, technological leadership, and economic dominance. Semiconductor technology, which is critical for a wide range of modern applications including consumer electronics, military systems, and artificial intelligence, has become a focal point in this rivalry. Ideological dimensions. According to the ex-ASML boss, the ideological aspect of the conflict is pivotal. The United States and China have fundamentally different political systems, economic models, and visions for the global order. The US, representing liberal democratic values and a market-oriented economy, views China's state-driven approach and authoritarian governance as a threat to the existing international system. Conversely, China sees its technological advancement as a means to secure its sovereignty and challenge Western hegemony. Strategic implications. The ideological clash influences strategic decisions on both sides. For the United States, restricting China's access to advanced semiconductor technology is seen as a way to curb its rise and maintain technological superiority. This has led to measures such as export controls, sanctions, and efforts to build alliances with other countries to isolate China technologically. China, on the other hand, is determined to achieve self-sufficiency in semiconductor technology. This ambition is driven by the need to secure its technological future against potential disruptions and to bolster its geopolitical influence. China's strategy involves significant investments in its semiconductor industry, state support for domestic companies, and efforts to develop homegrown technologies. Economic consequences. The ideological underpinnings of the US-China chip wars have profound economic ramifications. For the global semiconductor industry, the conflict has led to supply chain disruptions, increased costs, and the reconfiguration of business strategies. Companies like ASML find themselves in a complex position, as they navigate between complying with US regulations and maintaining their market presence in China. Long-term outlook. In the long run, the ideological nature of the chip wars suggests that the conflict is unlikely to be resolved through simple negotiations or trade deals. Instead, it may persist as a defining feature of the US-China relationship, influencing broader geopolitical dynamics and the future of global technology standards. Conclusion: the perspective of the former ASML CEO highlights the ideological dimensions of the US-China chip wars, providing a deeper understanding of the motivations behind the actions of both countries. This ideological conflict underscores the challenges and uncertainties facing the semiconductor industry and the broader international community as they grapple with the implications of this high-stakes rivalry.